Actually, when I started to dance, I healed from anorexia and depression.
And depression?
Yeah.
Graciela Pischner is one of Dubai's most beloved and sought-after belly dancers.
My modeling career started from a rejection.
For me, modeling, the 10 years when we were working together, it was pure therapy. I was collecting the broken pieces of myself. Tell us more about how we can train to be more in our body and more feminine as women.
Another thing for the single ladies.
How did you manifest your amazing husband? Because I know you've been very peculiar, particular about getting exactly the husband that you have today.
The most important for me is like, I know who I am.
How did you reach to this?
The moment you start to connect with this energy, you feel more graceful. You feel more feminine.
You have a magical jar?
Yes, I brought.
A magical jar.
It's a magical one. Like you put your hands inside, you feel like you want to dance.
Welcome back to UnMute. I'm your host, Andreea Zoya. I spent years in front of the camera, smiling on cue, walking runways, selling perfection. And behind that image was a young woman quietly navigating rejection, objectification, and the invisible cost of being seen but not known. What saved me wasn't another booking. It was the moment I found my voice, the moment I chose to stop performing and start speaking. And that's why I created this space. Because behind every polished life is a deeper story. And today's guest embodies that so perfectly. Graciela Pischner is one of Dubai's most beloved and sought-after belly dancers. A woman whose presence on stage is magnetic, sensual, and deeply alive. But her life expands far beyond the spotlight. She's a talent agent, a model, a devoted wife, and a mother. She's a woman who's built a life where art, business, beauty, and motherhood coexist. Not perfectly, but powerfully. Graciela moves with grace, but she also moves with truth. In every swirl of her silk when she's dancing, in every powerful gesture, she tells a story of the feminine body as art, of dance as language, of movement as message. So today we talk about what it means to be fully expressed, not just in your body, but in your identity, your purpose, and your presence. We talk about owning your beauty without apology, balancing roles without losing yourself, and living life unmuted. Graciela, welcome to UnMuted. It's so good to have you here. We are celebrating 15 to 18 years of friendship, of being colleagues in the modeling world, of walking the runway for Dubai Fashion Week and the most amazing designers that we have here in Dubai. And it was about time, now that you are a talent agent, a mom, a wife, and you have your business, and for me, as I have my coaching business, it was about time to sit on a couch, put two gorgeous microphones, and take people into the behind the scenes of the modeling world, the entertainment world. Because many people see, as I said, the perfect photo, the perfect smile, selling products, property, being on billboards. But I want to tell people what they can't see, what they don't know. So I asked this question to everyone. When was a moment in your life, since you are on UnMute, when was a moment in your life where you felt muted?
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I admire you a lot.
I admire you too.
I want you to know that I really admire you, and I can see how much love and dedication you put in everything you do. I really can see it clear.
Thank you.
And how you changed the life of many people. So I think, first of all, what took me to UnMute, to search for UnMute myself, is that I believe that people they work with beauty and entertainment, they have a very deep story behind. related to being muted, you know. Example, I can see all the models. I even tell my friends they want to lose weight. I say, you know why all the models, they are so slim? Because they call themselves all the time, they look at the mirror, they say, oh, I need to lose weight. And they are so worried that in the end, like they, you know, they keep the shape for the pressure they put on them. And if you see the backstage, you always see the models saying, oh, babe, today I don't look very good. Oh, my hair is not nice today. Like and this come from a background. So I think what my modeling career started from a rejection.
Same here, by the way.
Yeah, like from bullying, because, you know, I was the tallest one. And then I was like too skinny. And so in school, this was not a positive thing. And the only word that this could be positive would be in the modeling world, especially in Brazil, because like if I was a child in Serbia or in Russia, my height would be very common maybe at school. But in Brazil, no. Like I was the tallest, and because of this, I was I was in the last place in the queue, you know, because in Brazil they organize the kids by size,
Of
like
course.
by the height.
Yeah.
So I was always the last one.
Because you're the tall one.
Yeah, because I was the tall one.
And being the last one when you are a child means
Yeah.
you're last.
Yeah, and the first was next to the
Don't matter.
teacher. And even when after in my modeling career, I did a video clip of one singer that he's super famous, and I was so excited. I was like, wow, as a dancer, doing this video clip with him. This was a long time ago. And I was so excited. In the end, nothing happened because he was much shorter than me. And they said, oh, darling, you know what? Be far from him. Like, they didn't cancel me, but they put me like in a way that nobody could see me.
In the
because
background.
next to him, I couldn't appear. Like, anyway. So I think also this thing about, I think behind all the models, there is a girl that want to be unmuted. I don't know if it is this correct word to say.
It's only recently, after coaching so many people and after reflecting on the journey of that I had in modeling, then in presenting live events, that I realized that for me, modeling, the 10 years when we were working together, it was pure therapy. I was collecting the broken pieces of myself because due to my background in my childhood and in school, I made feel that I don't matter. I was also the tall one, very skinny, different proportions. So because I was standing out, people were making fun. So then being now on a stage, I mattered. The lights were in front of me, in front of us. The photographers wanted to take photos. It was the other extreme where I found myself when I was a child. So it took me also, only recently I realized, I reflected that for me the modeling was rewarding because you're beautiful, I mean, you're always wanted to do this campaign. It's a nice feeling. But deep inside, in my psychology, in my soul, it was fulfilling because it was giving me what I didn't have prior to that. What was the hardest thing for you at the beginning when you were modeling, when you were new in the industry?
Look, I had like very difficult things. Like the hardest one, I had anorexia.
You had?
I had like not in the level that you see that people get really like proper sick, but like that's the reason that I'm obsessed about my dance, and I'm so grateful that I became a dancer because actually when I started to dance, I healed from anorexia and depression.
And depression?
Yeah. Because also not only like emotionally, if you don't eat enough, you start to get down. You know, like if you eat like 500 calories per day and you are 180 high, you know, like you start to get down as well.
It's not enough.
Yeah. Anyway, it was like the anorexia was very bad. The environment was very shocking for me because it was my dream. It was always my dream to be a model when I was a child. Mm-hmm. But then later I realized that also was my dream because everywhere I would go, like supermarket, bakery, any person would look at me and say, you are going to be a model. So I bought this idea because I was listening this every day, everywhere I go. When you grow up, you'll be a model. And then I was like, oh, wow, I will be a model. And it was the only place that I could be that tall would be very good. So I grew up with this idea. And then when I was 20, I won a reality show. I was working as a hostess in one like very nice restaurant, and one person saw me from a TV show in Brazil, the biggest TV in Brazil, and they invited me for a show, and I won the show. So I became famous like from one day to another. So I started to go to the modeling agencies, and they really wanted to take me, you know. So, and then when I saw the environment, like it was all about, like they look at me, they say, oh, you're very tall, you're nice, but you need to lose weight. And by the way, your nose. And by the way, look, actually, if you change your chin, like it was so funny because everyone was obsessed about, oh, if you maybe change your chin and then you do something your nose and then you change your hair color.
You
and
could be perfect.
I mean, if you become another person, I was like, okay. So this rejection constantly. And then like after the show of rejection and the environment that was very difficult for me, I was not used to this. Because, you know, I went to university, I studied business, I had like a normal life before. So when I started my modeling career, I started to be like shocked with these priorities that I never had before. It was very confusing for me. And then, to be very honest, the moment I felt healed from it was when I started to dance. And then I said, I will never be a model again. I don't want to do this again. And then when I moved to Arabic country, guess what?
To Dubai.
No, I went to dance first in Yemen.
Ah.
Yeah, I have like a long story. We need a day for me to tell you.
I know.
But I went to Lebanon to do an extra course, like to learn more about culture, new steps, how the show is in Arabic countries, because it's different than Brazil. Then I went to perform in few countries like Yemen. That was like a trial for me. My agent said, go there first because you get experience. And then I went to Bahrain, and guess what? I was walking in the mall, and one lady, she started to run like, hey, please, please. I was like, what happened? I was even scared. And she was like, I want you for a fashion show tonight. I was like, really? Like I couldn't give up on my modeling career. Then I was like, I started everything again, but it was amazing. It was completely different because here I didn't need to lose weight. Like they never asked me to lose weight. And it was completely also in Brazil, something that was disturbing me a lot, like that was very negative for me. In Brazil, if you do a TV commercial or a photo shoot, it's all about the body. It's in the culture. So everything is on bikini. Mm-hmm. And this was very heavy for me, you know. And here was opposite. It was like, oh, you cannot show the arm. You can see the like one piece of the arm of the model. It was like,
or no cleavage.
Yes,
yeah.
And it was so comfortable, you know, this abaya thing.
Same here.
And
I mean, we were rocking the abayas. Yeah. It was the same. In Romania, I modeled a little bit, but then here, the industry just embraced me. But when you were chased by that lady in the mall in Bahrain saying, I want you for a fashion show, I remember that in 2006, 2008, when I started modeling here in the UAE, there was a big demand. Everything was booming, the real estate, the economy, everything was just growing, and it's still growing.
Yeah.
And there weren't enough talent.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we were the right people at the right place. But from Bahrain, how did you reach to Dubai?
So I had a program. Like when I started working with this agent, he was very serious, like very serious. And he was like, okay, you go, I have a plan for you. You go first to Arabic countries, smaller, that there is not so many dancers. You do your best there, you get experience, you understand how the shows, the music, everything, the styles, because it's very complex. People think just go there and dance. No. There is the Gulf dance, that's Haliji, that use the hair. And then there is the Egyptian style and the Lebanese style. So you need to know everything Arabic countries. So I went to learn in these smaller countries, like I went to Yemen, Bahrain. I went to Tunisia, because the band there is very big, a lot of musicians. Then he said, okay, now I feel you can go to UAE.
Oh.
Yeah, so he had a plan for me.
He was preparing you.
So when I came to UAE, I did this fashion show in Bahrain that they asked me that time. And then when I came to UAE, then I wanted to go back to my modeling career because I realized that would be my healing, you know. I said, no, here I will do modeling. and it's going to be a new experience. And it was amazing.
The environment was different.
Yeah, it was.
I feel it too. Everyone here was, I mean, there were jobs that were not perfect and there were long hours
Yeah.
of waiting. For example, people don't know that for us to walk the ramp for like a fashion show is 5 to 10 minutes, but for that you work 2 days,
Yeah.
or you come at 7, 8 a.m. for makeup and hair, and the fashion show is at 5 or at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And you see that energy and the beautiful hair and makeup and the walk, but they don't know that we are already tired at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
What were you doing to energize yourself, to revitalize yourself? When I remember days when you were doing belly dancing and fashion shows and you were running from one thing to another.
Yeah. All the time.
All the time. How were you energizing yourself in between?
First, a lot of coffee, of course.
Okay.
But I was I was obsessed about what I wanted. You know, I had some like plans. Like I wanted a lot of money to buy my house in Brazil. I wanted to explore the modeling career because I was so upset that I was rejected in Brazil so many times. I was like, okay, here is easy, so I will do my best. So I was doing something that I love, first of all. I was really happy to do modeling here. I used to be friends with all the makeup artists, the hair, the photographers. So I was friends with everyone, the models. So for me, it was so exciting. And then in the evening, I had a show, always something really amazing, a very nice resort or a very big event. So it was so exciting. Like I didn't need any, like my excitement was my energy. And it was so funny because I remember it was a group of models that sometimes they say something negative about, like I was happy with everyone. And then one day, one girl told me, you didn't realize she was talking bad about you? I was like, really? No. She said she was talking like next to you. I said, I didn't even thought it was about me. I was so happy. Like I couldn't even connect with low energy, you know? Like people would say something silly and I wouldn't understand. I wouldn't even like, cannot be negative. I was like, this cannot be negative. This is
Have you always been like this, or it's because you were so happy that you were on your path?
I was so happy because when I got like fed up of it, then everything was annoying me. Like after because I mean, I did this for like 10 years and it was like so intensive, like was no sleep many nights, and then and then I opened my company. Then I had something else that was not so fun, but was for my future. So I would do a modeling job and then a show in the evening. Plus, I wouldn't do one modeling job per day.
No, two or three. I know. I
remember.
remember you were always coming and going from somewhere. And whoa. So I want to go back to, because now we know you're successful. Now you know you're a happy mom, a happy wife. You're running many other agents. You're representing many other talents as an agent. I want to go back to, do you recall what was the hardest for you when you were modeling, especially in the phase after you, let's say, you filled up your bucket of positivity and getting what you want? What was kind of like a low moment where you felt you had to leave a job, or you gave up, or a client was rude, or payments? Sometimes the payments were very late. So.
Yeah, but they were very scared of me. I mean, the agencies, they would pay, they would not pay anyone, but they would pay me.
What did you say to them?
Because I was always very clear for them. I was like, look, I love this job, but I have a lot of priorities with my money. Like, okay. I'm the manager of my life. Like, I want, like, don't even think about, don't pay me. Like, I was very clear, and I was like, the way I speak already, they were scared. I was like, you have only one option. Like, of course, some agencies, big ones, that was very trustful. Like, they would take 6 months, I don't mind. For me, I was like, okay, near the summer, I'll get like 10 checks. I go to the bank, it's fine. For me, it was always like, depends who. The stressful thing for me was the overtime, because I always had like 2-3 jobs and I had my show in the evening.
Yeah.
So the overtime, it was very stressful because sometimes, like, I had to be on the stage 8 o'clock, and the shoots, like, one time, example, we were doing a TV commercial, and we recorded the whole half of the thing with one boy, and then they decided to cut his hair. Like, because anyway, for
So
some
you had
reason.
to redo the
Then
whole shoot.
yeah, we had to redo everything, and then I had my show, and they couldn't understand because I was the only one with problem, and they start to understand, like, oh, she has attitude. No, like, I really have another job. So this double booking and overtime, double booking also happened a lot to me. Like, I was with so many bookings, and then suddenly they want to move the date of this shoot, and I already have another shoot. This was very stressful for me.
As you are speaking about the abundant life that you've created for yourself, of being booked, and your agency, and you're catering your agents everywhere in the world, Monaco, you name it, where everything is on your website, on your Instagram page. Do you think you've always had an abundance mindset, or it's something that you've grown, you've cultivated?
No, I was obsessed. Like, my mom would say, what do you think? You think you're rich? Like, because, I come from a very simple family, and I always
Brazil,
wanted,
yeah.
yes. I mean, thank God, like, I had everything basic, but I was going to public school, was tough. It was not so easy. And in Brazil, I will tell you something. I think Brazil, Romania, and India, these countries, like, you have to be mid or high. Less than that, you have a problem because, it's a very hard place to grow. A lot of competition, you go to a modeling casting in São Paulo, there is 500 models. It's crazy. So, but I was always, since I was like a child, I was always saying, like, I want more. And actually, recently, I had to do hypnotherapy because I was so obsessed that I want more, that I start to forget what I have. Like, it was an obsession. But what is amazing about that I love about my journey is specific, that I always want more from me. So it was like, example, one of the reasons I decided to be a dancer is because my father always said, be independent. The best thing you can do.
Of course.
Not only about money. Know how to cook, to wash, to clean, to make money. Know everything. To take care of yourself. Because the most hard thing in life is to be dependent of someone or of some situations. So I always had in mind that I want to have my things. I want to build myself. This was very clear for me. So I realized that the only way to be independent, you have to work. I mean, there is no other way. You have to work. And then I was like, okay, I need to find something that I love. That's why I decided to be a dancer, a belly dancer, because the first show I didn't want it to be a belly dancer. My teacher said, I have one show and the dancer just canceled, and it was a Sunday. She said, I can't find anybody, please do it. I said, are you crazy? I never did a show before. I'm a student. She was like, no, you go, you're so beautiful, they will love, go. So I went, and I got paid very well, and I had so much fun that I'll never forget the feeling when I get the money, and I was like, I feel guilty. And I was like, you know why? Because I feel like I'm getting paid for something that's giving me... So it's like I will pay you to eat your favorite dessert.
Yeah.
I was like, but sounds weird. Like, how can you pay me to have my favorite dessert? Like, doesn't make sense. For me, it was like, I'm getting paid to do something that I used to do for free. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. So, and then was associating like, okay, I will do this a lot. I'll get very well paid, and I'm going to enjoy my life at the same time, because I wanted to have abundance, but always from my work.
I want to ask you something specifically about the belly dancing and art, but before that, I wanted to say that every single time I was modeling, especially TV commercials, I was feeling that they were paying me to breathe. They were paying me to be, because interacting, emoting, being on set, it felt already a joy to put a story together, and then to also get paid. It was like, oh, bonus.
Yes.
So I think it's a privilege of life to be able to have this alignment where your personality, your competence are, and what your soul wants to do are in alignment, and then you get this joy, you get this, I want more and more and more, and I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
And then the more you are in this high frequency, the more you're inspiring others. I'm inspired by you very much because the grace that you exude as a woman, as a dancer, and as a model is unmatched. So I want to go back to belly dancing. What women who don't dance much, or don't have time to dance, or don't have time to do their Pilates or their yoga, what they are missing out, and what do you as a dancer who also teaches, you have your courses, what do you as a dancer and teacher who teaches dances know about the benefits that this body gets when we move?
First of all, I think the woman that she cannot stop to connect with herself physically,
That she cannot
stop her daily life, like work, family, kids, and she's losing herself. Not like she's not losing the opportunity of practice yoga or the opportunity of dance. She's losing herself because we are not like just a body or just a mind or just emotion. We are these three things. Like nothing works alone very well. So you have to you need to dedicate for these three things. Otherwise, you are out of balance. And I don't know, for me, the body is like an instrument that when you dance, you connect to yourself and you get to know yourself better as well. Especially belly dancing, like that's so feminine. You start to feel like, this feminine energy on you, and how like you can be, the dance for me brings these things like you can be feminine, you can be delicate, but at the same time you are very strong. Yeah.
So that's what I think is not visible. Where is the strength? Because it's not really visible. We just see entertainment, we see movement, we see art, we feel, but the strength is right in the core, in the legs.
It's in the presence. It's in the presence because, example, if I'm dancing and I'm moving my hands, I'm concentrating my fingers, in my nails, it's one thing, it's the presence that you get. Because especially now, when I started dance 22 years ago, I had more presence even without dancing because we didn't have Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like now to have presence, you cannot have a presence with your friends. Your friends cannot be present in front of you. They're always in the phone. So I think what connects you, I believe, of course, we have energy, we have the chakras, we have the energy that we move. But this is more about people like, you have to believe on it. You have to understand about this. It's very difficult for someone that goes to the gym and don't believe in energy or these things. I will say, oh, you're going to connect with your energy. For this person, she needs to develop this knowledge. But the presence in something that if I speak to you about, it's very easy for you to connect with this. Like, you understand what I mean, presence. Like, you are here now, you are feeling your body, you are feeling like what's correct, what's right, what's wrong.
So, yeah, it's the same with martial arts. I tried jiu-jitsu a little bit. It's the same with speaking. People who truly, that I coach, I teach them to transmit. And the transmission happens when your presence and your attention is in every inch of your body and you're feeling what you're saying, you put meaning, and then you transmit something. And that's how hearts connect, minds connect. I want to talk to you about something that not too many people know, and I want you to tell them part of a story that I know. How did you manifest your amazing husband? Because I know you've been very particular about getting exactly the husband that you have today, but there was a time when you were taking your sweet time until you met him. What did you do that other women can do to also?
Yeah, I spoke to my niece recently, and she's 22. I told her, look, I'm going to teach you something that I wish someone, when I was 22, was teaching me. So I made a list. I just made a list. I took a paper, and I put in this paper, like, and then when I say this, some people say I'm talking about superficial things, like the way the guy is going to look. No, it's not. I'm not talking about this. Example, things that you don't want to accept in your life. Like I want someone very clear, like transparent. I don't want this thing like lies, and then he'd say I'll do this and he doesn't. I don't have patience for this. I want someone very clear, and I want someone that doesn't drink at all, because I had drinks before. I used to drink before for fun, but I wanted to stop. So I said it's gonna be easier if the guy doesn't drink. I want someone who doesn't smoke, and I made my list, and then when I showed this to my friends, when I speak about my list to my friends, they say, darling,
Good luck.
it doesn't exist. But, I'm not talking about this list. The girls, they have they put things that, and I want him to be very wealthy, and I want him to speak 5 languages. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about something very deep, very about values, about
Character,
very deep things. And the rest, you have to be very flexible. That, you know what I mean? So, example, I met him. He was in Brazil. I was in Dubai. It was like
How
a
did
lot
you
of
meet?
challenge. So I went to a spiritual retreat. After 10 years living in Dubai, I went to a spiritual retreat and I met him there. And my friend was like, you never find this guy. They send me jokes in the internet about this thing, like the girl, she always wanted to find the perfect man. So, but when I met him, was like, by the way, before I had a vision. Was so funny.
Tell us about the vision.
You know what happened to me? I was listening to some relaxing music at home on YouTube. And then I was like, suddenly I looked at my computer and I saw like an image of a guy, but it was not like a proper guy. It was like an image of a guy meditating. And this like took my heart. I was like, oh, what is that? But then it was not like a proper guy. It was just like a
silhouette.
Someone, meditate. But my heart was like, I was like, oh my God, imagine if I meet someone like this. And this was like just before I meet him. So then I went to a trip with a lot of friends and we had a lot of fun. And I was like, look, this is the last one. I don't want to party anymore. I want to really find someone. Then I said, from now on, I'm going to focus. I'm going to meet someone. And I did a promise as well. Because I'm obsessed about coffee. I love coffee.
Yeah, no more.
And I said, I will be 1 year without touching coffee. I will not drink coffee for 1 year. And I promise. And I want to find.
Okay, you kind of made the barter. If I find a guy, I will give up.
No, I said I would be this year without drinking coffee.
But what was the connection between giving up coffee for 1 year and finding?
In Brazil, we do like sacrifice, like you say, I will not drink coffee 1 year and I want to meet the guy. So
whatever you like the most, you will give it up.
Yeah, you give up is a Brazilian thing. Some people, they do with sands, like related even to religion. No, for me, it was just like universe. I will give up something. And I went, you don't believe, I did this promise in the New Year's Eve. On the 12th of January, I met him.
Okay.
And then, it's unbelievable what it happened.
It delivered very quickly.
So, yeah.
And when you met him, did you know? You felt?
Not really. No. We started to talk as a friends, and then what took my attention, like we spoke so much because we were in this spiritual retreat, and I didn't feel like he was the guy. So I spoke about everything, like my bestie. And then he was like, with who do you live in Dubai? I was like, alone, and I started to cry. And I was like, I'm a very lonely lady. I spoke like, and he was like, oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. I said, yes, I'm very lonely. I live alone in Dubai. I just work all the time. And I was crying, and he was like, oh, would you like some water? Are you okay? And then after, after like spend the whole weekend talking to him, I don't know how he managed to listen all.
He fell in love.
No, after you know what he said?
What did he say?
It was a pleasure meeting you. Have a nice trip.
Huh?
And I was like, huh? He didn't ask my number. He didn't ask anything. Like he didn't say I'll see you again. Nothing.
Because?
No, he was just like a friend. Then I was like, this is the guy. He managed to be the whole weekend with a girl that is a model, that is a belly dancer, and he never even he just not because he was not interested. He just
He honored you.
Plus, one thing I realized you need to another thing for the single ladies. You need to analyze how the guy treats everyone.
For sure.
He was so nice with everyone. With the guys, with the older ladies. He was like, how was your weekend? Did you have fun? How was your experience? He was so polite and nice with everybody. I was like, so he's a proper nice guy. He's not pretending he's nice with me. So it was a sign. Then I started to message him. Yeah, I was like, I think he's the guy.
So you weren't high up in your ego. You were like, wait, I'm recognizing.
No, I messaged him.
Okay.
I said, okay, he didn't ask my number. So I had his number because we were in a group for a retreat and everything. So I started to send him message and he took like a few days and I think he realized that I liked him.
Yeah. 7 years later, you have a beautiful boy.
Yeah.
Your boy's name is, you said?
Salomão.
Salomão.
Yeah, it's like Solomon in English.
Solomon. How long it took for him to propose or to decide to get together and become a family? Very quickly.
Yeah, because he was living in Brazil. And I was living in Dubai, and for him was much easier to move to Dubai. And Brazil is 14 hours by airplane, so it was very quickly. Like after 2 months, I went to Brazil, and then he came to Dubai, and then I went to Brazil, and we decided to be together. That's it.
When did you tell him that he was the least? When did you tell him that I had a list and you are the least? Did you ever? No. Now he will see it on the podcast.
Now, because but he knows after I told him, like, I don't know, but in a very casual way. Yeah. And also when you do your list, like you need to see some points can come later. There are points that for you is important, but you take time. But
to unpack.
Yeah.
To show. Okay, ladies. The list. If you've done it, do it again and do a sacrifice. What is that you love the most? Is it shopping? Is it coffee? Is it spending time with your girlfriends? Give it up. Give something for real, and the universe will respond. 12 days. It took 12 days. It delivered. Another thing that fascinated me about you is that you had. I mean, people who don't know you, they say, okay, she has a business, she belly dances, she's a model, but they don't know how strategic you are. I really loved when we've met in a parking lot, and you said, I had a baby. I'm like, what? When did you have a baby? I didn't see any photo. Well, because. So I found that fascinating that you chose to deliberately keep your something private, your pregnancy, away from the eyes of the media, of social media. So what was the thought behind it?
Look, my years were like this. I had contracts, like during Eid, I was performing in Maldives. During the summer, I was performing in Cannes. The high seasons, I had some hotels and some clients that I was working weekly. So I know my clients. I know them very well because, by the way, because I'm a workaholic, they always become a best friend. Not a best friend, but very close friend. So I know their mind, especially because I provide the dancers. So I know what they speak about the other dancers. I was like, okay, if they see me pregnant, they will not believe that I will continue doing it. They will not believe. They will associate because also there are, how to say, there are images in the mind of people.
Patterns,
they're
biases,
ladies, they
biases.
get pregnant,
Biases.
They get pregnant and then they look like that and their life is going to be like that. they have these beliefs already, and then they would never believe that I would be doing modeling after 45 days. I had my son. And I would
45
be,
days?
yeah, and
45 days?
yeah, I was doing modeling and I was actually performing as well. I came back to perform. And it was so funny because like I came, when my son was 4 months, I was doing a contract in Cannes, like dancing every day. And by the way, when I was pregnant, I was like, when I discovered that I was pregnant, I was already in a contract. And then I was like, okay, let's not tell the client because I will be dancing there 2 months pregnant. I asked my doctor, I said, look, I have a contract in Cannes, it's 2 months and it's 10 minutes, 2 shows every day, so 20 minutes per day. And then she said, how long are you dancing? I said, that time I was 11 years. She said, look, for a dancer, professional, 11 years performing, 20 minutes per day is like you are walking, like you are doing the basic exercise. She said, don't do stuff like that, you lose your balance. Because when you are pregnant, you lose a little bit like your balance. She said, yeah, avoid to turn a lot.
I've seen footage of yours on social media that you posted recently where you even had the swords on your hips.
Yeah.
I mean, you felt fantastic and no one knew that you were 2-3 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the interview, you said, I'm the manager of my life. I'm the manager of my money. And clearly you are the manager and the CEO of how the entire industry is perceiving you. So you went, you delivered, Salome was born.
So yeah, I went to Brazil and then...
When you were in Cannes, you said your boy was 4 months. You
Yeah.
had him with you? He flew?
Yes.
Of course. And so
this client, she knew. Like I didn't tell everybody. Example, I had some occasions, like some of my clients, they knew because they were very close to me. So I start to say, like, for clients that I have contract, example, Cannes, because she used to book my apartment. During the contract I was pregnant, I didn't tell her. When she called me to the next contract next year, first of all, I sent my recently pictures. I was like, look, I just want to share my new portfolio. So she saw that I was even better than when I was not pregnant. And then when she said, oh, baby, look amazing. And I was like, by the way, this year, we need to have an extra bed in the room. Then I told her, she was like, she was like so surprised. Then they came with me, my husband and my son.
of course.
And when it was necessary, I was telling them, but I was like, look, I'm not putting this on my Instagram. I just want you to understand. So I started slowly, because some clients, they would never understand.
Of course.
So in Dubai, example, the clients that I do, like gala dinner, that I meet them like once per year, I wouldn't put on my Instagram. After maybe when my son was like 3 years, then it was a little bit like uncomfortable because, he was like part of my life and I felt like, no, now I think it's time to share everything. And then one of my clients said, what is this? You come from nowhere with a baby? And I was like, look, celebrities are like this, like Priyanka Chopra, She didn't tell everybody I have a baby. She just show up with the baby. And she was like, respect my privacy. I mean, I say the same. Just take it this way. And he was like, he laughed and he was like, yeah, okay.
I think it was very graceful and very strategic and very smart to be almost emotionless, to understand the market, the client, to give the client what they want, which is a tall, always fit, graceful, present, beautiful belly dancer, and to do your private life privately. Whereas maybe as women with hormones, we want, right?
Yes.
We are emotional, we want to show the world where we are, but you were very strategic.
This is one thing very important. Like, they say like for the first 3 years when you become a mother, you still like so confused. You are so like vulnerable. So I didn't want to be more vulnerable with people saying, I'm not going to call you because now you became a mom. Because it happens.
Of course.
I mean, we need to be realistic.
Yes.
So I was like, one thing I learned is like, I really love social media. I love. And I love to show what like very raw thing. But one thing I learned that I even advise people, don't share things in social media that you are not 100% sure about.
Yeah.
Because it can really make a mess in your personal life. So I share things very happy, like when it's ready to to be there.
What can you tell us more about the importance of learning to dance belly dancing? I mean, here in the region, many people went to your sessions in person, and it's kind of common. But for whoever is watching this from different parts of the world, I, for example, admire. I see the dancer in you. I know you very well, but I admire how conscious you are with your hands. In your videos on social, you know, you're very posh, very sophisticated. I think these are coming from the years of practicing, right?
Yes.
Tell us more about how we can train to be more in our body and more feminine as women.
Yes, so the hands is like, it's so funny you say this because a lot of people, since I started dance, they were like, the hands, the hands. And I have one moment in my classes that we work only hands, and the ladies, they get very emotional, like, oh, this is the best part. I think, like, there are things about the hands that when you start to pay attention, you start to realize that there is a lot of energy here, like of giving, of taking, of connecting. You know, like so many times you see like a movie, the person say, ah, you touch my heart, and you put the hands here. Like there is a power thing here. I'm not the person like to explain exactly what it is, but what I can say as a dance instructor, that the moment you start to connect with this energy, you feel more graceful. You feel more feminine, and you also start to understand that you are one whole thing. Because if my posture is not nice and my hands graceful, you feel there is something weird. So you start to align your body. You start in the hands, and then you are like, oh, and the shoulder.
Everything follows.
Yeah, and then you start to get organized. Like it's really like it's. I think the beginning. The hands is the beginning.
Okay. I would love to dance a bit more. I haven't done belly dancing in a while, and I think I wanna challenge us to use this space a little bit.
You notice I have a jar. It's a magical jar.
You have a magical jar?
Yes, I brought.
A magical jar.
It's a magical one. Like you put your hands inside, you feel like you wanna dance.
If you put your hand inside, you feel like you wanna dance.
Maybe there is a snake here. If you're not scared.
I trust you.
Really?
I trust you. There is no snake.
God. Okay, go for it.
Magical jar. Yeah, it sounds like a snake. It does sound like a snake. Oh.
Are you ready?
I was ready since I called you on the podcast. I'm like, Graciela is coming.
One for you.
Yeah.
Look, same color. We connect with the same energy. Very feminine. Loving.
It smells amazing also. It's perfumed, yeah. I'm not an expert like you, but I wish I could have the superpower, the magic to create a law where all humans would dance, but all women would make time to dance. I started maybe September to do some animal flow and conscious movements with a coach at home. And yeah, I feel different. Yeah. But belly dancing, funny enough, I just played with it. I never learned. So maybe...
Let's go.
Maybe we can do something today.
Yes, let's go. More introspective, mysterious. Moon movements. Yes, and then we have the sun movements. Okay. It's more like about shimmy, they are alive, and they are, yeah, very good. you look so happy. I should dance more. You engage your muscles, yeah. And now you're gonna just bring to me your right side of the hip. Yeah, twist, yes. But it's straight. We're just twisting. Twist, twist. Yeah. Okay. Good. Twist. Now what will you do? Twist, and then go to the side a little bit. Yes, and then twist again. And then to the side. And then twist.
Twist.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna show me your hip. Okay. Show me your right. Okay. Show me your left. Show me your right. Show me your left. Hands down.
Look at my right.
Yes, very nice.
Look at my left.
Exactly. And now, every time you move, you do a hand. Yeah, yes, very good. You see the hands, like kind of, yes. And the circle, you don't need to learn this one. That's more like,
okay.
You see around your body. Yes. And the other one is a pelvic circle, so it's like inside your body.
I love. This I love.
It looks so nice, and it's the hands, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
Yeah, I forget.
Oh my God, you are ready to be a belly dancer.
Let's go.
Can I put your profile in my website? You're gonna be like, the ladies will be jealous of you. And now let's do some sun movement.
Movements are coming with the attitude. I love the attitude in the picture. Like when everything is, like the movements, because you can dance, but you forget the face.
Yeah. The expression is so important. That's why the oriental dance make you feminine. Because you must relax your face.
You embody.
Yes, you smile, and by the way, when you enjoy, it's easy. You start to enjoy.
Yes,
you're smiling.
Yeah.
So to the side, and there is the shimmy. The shimmy, we can do this one. That's this. You move your knees. Yes. So you move your knees like front to back. Yes. And you see how your hips moving? Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah. And then you can do your hands here. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. So, how do you feel?
I feel a bit shy to do this.
Not shy?
Yeah.
You were like really
look shy?
performing. My dancer is, you see, like my dancer, I call.
Thank you for that. So I knew I would learn few things from you. But I learned, because we weren't saying this on the mic, that there are movements that are more moon related, where a person like me, who is more reflective and more introverted or attentive to her thoughts, would love to do movements that are related to the moon. And someone who wants to be louder, more extroverted, will do different type of movements that you call sun movements.
Sun movements, yeah.
And that's something I didn't know.
In another stage, we also goes like to earth movements, water movements,
and
air.
so for women who say I'm shy to be a belly dancer, is because she has to learn now that she would benefit from the moon type of movements.
Yeah.
Is a woman who practices belly dancing obviously more empowered to be sensual and more magnetic as a woman?
Yes, and this can be a problem as well.
How come?
Recently I even start to call belly dance. I prefer to say oriental dance. But I know belly dance is the way everyone knows. There is a story behind that I cannot bring today because it's a very big subject. But also it's a power that when you, like, it's kind of you activate an energy on you, and then you get like, if you don't know how to use it, it's becoming too much. That's why sometimes when you put in the internet like belly dance and you see some crazy videos, someone like out of control, and then it's a power, like it's kind of the person connected with a energy, a powerful energy, and she doesn't know how to manage, how to direct.
It's the sexual energy, basically.
Yes. So we can use this for many things, for creating things, for, like me, I'm super active person, and I use this for many things. Like example, I love to organize my house. I love to write. I make plans. I learn new things. I love languages. So you need to direct.
You are a polyglot. You speak French. You studied Arabic.
I speak Arabic, like basic.
Yeah.
And then French, Spanish, Portuguese, English.
5. Tell me anything you want to tell me in Arabic, just to hear you.
Okay.
Just to hear you.
اليوم أنا مبسوطة كتير لأنه أنا هون معك.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that. You're absolutely, you're happy to be here
because I'm with
with
you.
you. Yeah, Maki. Wow. And for how long you studied Arabic?
It's a
Never-ending
a
project?
love drama relationship. Me and my the only relationship with drama I have is me and my Arabic language, because I learned, like, I studied for 15 years, but to stop, and then I learned the Haliji, and then I learned the Egyptian, and then the Lebanese, and then I study, stop. I know how to read, to write, but it's in my list that I have to be fluent.
Got it. Tell me a little bit more. How long is your online course? Is it like 8 weeks, like 10 weeks?
It's a recorded course, so you can do as you want.
At your own leisure.
So you can, example, I have students, they buy because they do live class with me, and then when they are in vacation, they want to continue practicing. I have students, they buy because they live in another country and they do every day. But it's around, like, it's 48 lessons.
Okay.
And it's called Belly Dance Essence, because the steps I have in my course, you can never become a belly dancer or learn belly dance if you don't know them.
It's like the ABC.
It's the ABC. If you don't learn them, forget about, you don't know belly dance. You have to know all of them to say, like, I know how to belly dance. So it's the basic steps. There are 5 choreographies, and there are also like a routine that you can do. It's called like Dance With Me, and you can do 7 days per week. You dance, like, just watch and dance together, you know. It's like, because a lot of ladies, they love this. They love to, like, just see what you do, and they copy and they move, like, they try to follow.
Would you say that people who would study belly dancing with you or take your course, do you think they can also heal from some emotional
For sure.
stuff that they have? And how that happens and why that happens?
I mean, they start to connect with themselves a lot. I realized, because I will tell you why. I have some students, they come to my class. Sometimes in the middle of the class, they start to tell me things that's not related to dance. Like, I had a student, it just was so strong for me. I was teaching her in a spa, very nice, in Maldives, actually. And then in the middle of the class, she said, you know, when I delivered my baby, and she started to talk about, like, the day she delivered her baby and her negative experience. And then she started to cry and cry. And then she spoke to, like, we were talking for 30 minutes. And then she said, I loved your class so much. I learned a lot. And I was like, but we danced for maybe 20 minutes. Because we danced, and between the time I was explaining, and then she brought the subject, and we spoke to the end of the class. And then she was like, so was the dancing? I mean, I'm sure she had fun, but something unblocked, like, you know, the dance unblocked something that she... And I have another case, I have a lot of cases that people come to tell me a secret, like, oh, I'm going to tell you something. Like, in the end of the class, they say, I don't know why, but I want to tell you something that I never said to anyone. And I feel so blessed, and I honor this person so much. Like, I would never...
Yeah, for sure. Your integrity is very high. Yeah.
So, but I feel like the dance opened this channel, you know, like, she connects with herself. She starts to feel herself, and she was like, I have this... I'm keeping this with me, and I cannot keep this anymore. And then she looked at me and she tell me. So, and okay, maybe if she's doing online class, she'll be far from me. She cannot tell me, but maybe at the same day, she's going to say, I think I'm going to book a session with a therapist, or maybe I need to say this to my husband. You start to unblock things.
Did people tell you that you have this presence, this energy where you actually heal people when they are in your presence? Because that's what I'm certain that you do. It's your presence, the way you hold space for people, that something happens in the invisible world energetically where this realization emerges in them. Did other people tell you this? See?
Yeah.
See?
Like I said, a lot of people also tell me about secrets, and a lot of things happens.
You not only you create a safety because of who you are, but I think energetically your presence heals. Because I know that some of us have this presence where people, when they chat with us, they come for the coaching session, for the dance session, some exchange happens there. And this is above my ability to express it in words, but I've seen it in action.
But also there is something called the healed healer.
Yes,
I don't believe
we are the healed healer.
So we, like, when you go through a lot of very hard things in your life, and then you heal, like I don't believe someone is healed, but I believe like when you get to a lot of healing, like you do a lot of therapy experience, like I do yoga, I meditate, when you do a lot and you really wanna check your like black box. Everyone has a black box, of emotions, situations, traumas.
Really?
So when we start to look at, when you also open the space, like people and they are next to you, they understand like, oh, she looks at her shadow, and maybe if I show my shadow, she will not judge me. Mm-hmm. It can happen like
because
this.
Because you embraced your shadow.
Yeah.
And speaking of shadow, I have a very important question that I'm sure many women, gentlemen as well, will benefit from. Why do you think women are so hard on women? She got old, she's wrinkled, she has white hair, she's not married yet, she does that. It's not men who are keeping us accountable for stuff. It's women. She's a belly dancer in Dubai. We know what she's doing. She's a model in Dubai from Romania. We know what she's doing. Really? You do? Are you spending every day with me? Do you know how hard I've been? It took me 1 year, for example, speaking of public speaking. It took me 1 full year of enunciation exercises to balance my accent, to reduce my original accent in order for me to be better understood. So people don't know the number of hours you put to become a professional belly dancer, to build the relationships, to have clients in Cannes. But because of biases, they just stamp you with, we know what you've done, why you have the contracts. How do you feel inside? How do you respond when society maybe gives you a comment on social media or somehow hints a bit of venom towards?
For so many years, I was not thinking about this, really. Because like when I see someone, first of all, my dance healed me. Like I was depressed, I was feeling down, I was with anorexia, I was physically sick, like, and when I started dancing, all the solutions came, plus it brought me a fortune. That's amazing. So the dance brought me so many good things that I didn't have the time for judgment, in a way that like when someone do a bad comment or a negative comment, I see this person as so like
sad.
No, I was seeing like it has no culture, like it doesn't know anything about life, like less than me. When someone look at it, oh, but dancing, I was like, oh my God, you're still in this mentality, like so primitive. I don't even take personal. But I don't know why. Since I became a mom, and then I start to also to understand better how people think, I start to analyze, and I had like 2 experiences that was shocking for me.
Shocking.
One lady, like, she was not someone that I would admire in my life. I was performing a ladies-only gathering, and then she told me, darling, my dream was to be a belly dancer. But, I always told my family, if a belly dancer doesn't go to hell when she dies, I would be a belly dancer. I was like, she's telling me so clear that I'm going to hell because I'm a belly dancer. So for me, example, people, if the hell exists, if you believe that the hell exists, they go to hell. If people like, they would judge everyone, or they would lie, and they would wish the bad for someone, or, like, not someone that's dancing, that's so precious for me.
It has a high frequency and energy.
Yes, so for me, is this person, she's vibrating a very primitive level. Like, she cannot even talk to me like in the same level. because her brain is like not connected to the same conscious level of my brain is.
So that's how you repel judgments.
Yeah, and also, but you need to be careful because, of course, I'm not like this stone. Example, one day I asked a musician, very famous musician, one of the most famous in the region, and I told him, he said, I got my golden visa.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's amazing. By the way, I need to get mine. And he said, you? How you're going to get your golden visa as a dancer? And I was like, like, why he said that? And it was amazing for one reason, because he put me down, actually. I was like, that was not nice to say. I felt very down. But you know what? The best happened later.
You got the
I was
visa, I
like,
know.
I'm going to get this golden visa.
And you put it on
And I
social.
sent him a picture by WhatsApp. And he gave me so much power that I did everything. Like, I was like, okay, I went everywhere. I spoke to everyone. I put all my pictures together. I wrote my journey. And I got my golden visa. I was like, thank God. Like, he put me down, but at least I took something out of it. But yes, it's true. There are, like, this judgment is there. The most important for me is, like, I know who I am. I know.
How did you learn, discover, and reach to the understanding of I know who I am? How did you reach to this?
Like, it's a long journey, but what
For
I
sure.
realized is, like, I had a therapist when I was 20 years old, and he told me, Graciela, you know, you are so sensitive. Your energy is like water. He said, so you know what? Try to be as clear as you can. So he, like, just to be transparent. The more you are transparent and clear to people what you want, what you don't want, your life's going to be easier. And I was reading also a book that time that, by the way, I bought because of him, this therapist. And the book was saying, like, the best way to live your life is in a way that's like, if everyone is watching you 24 hours,
Yeah.
you are doing the right thing. Like, you are in peaceful
Yeah.
with what you are doing.
Yeah.
And I live this life.
Yeah.
So I live a life that's like, if you put a camera in my house, you're going to have a lot of fun. And you're going to be like jealous, like, oh my God, she lives so well her life, you know, because I mean, it's not very fancy, but it's very natural and very real. Like, so for me, what people think about my dance, if usually it's positive, thank God, but if they think negative, they didn't get it. So
It's on them. It's on them. Speaking of the cameras, the invisible, the hypothetical cameras in your house, what is your formula for keeping your husband happy, for being there for your son? I know today you told me before coming here you dropped or you did something for your son or with him, and then the shows, and then being an agent to your talents and booking them for. How do you manage? I know you will say discipline, because I understand you're disciplined.
yeah.
I got that part. But after that, because it's a rare, I don't know if it's a rare case for someone to be able to model, to belly dance, to be an agent, to be a wife and a mom.
Okay, I'll tell you. And by the way, some people can copy this. It's very good technique. You have to put your life. Imagine a pizza.
Okay.
Okay, each slice is
Yeah.
a flavor.
Flavor.
So the flavor, one of the slides is healthy. The other one is family. The other is money. The other is yourself. Because it's important also to have time with yourself. Like, I wake up 5:30 in the morning to have time with myself.
Yeah.
I read, I do nothing. I just write, but it's my time. It's Graciela's time. Because I know other time of the day I will not have this. So you make this, you imagine a picture, you can draw, and then you write down all the area of your life. Then when you see that one slide is taking more slides, like you say, no, this I need to put less energy. You need to take decision. And again, it's about a relationship, I said. You have to, how to say, compromise. You have to.
So what you are saying, and I love, is, okay, we know the slice of pizza. we know the will of life. What we don't do, because you have it in balance, because I know you, I'm a witness to your success as a wife and as a businesswoman and as a talent. I'm a witness of that. It's not like we see that on social media, but we don't know what's behind the scenes. I am a witness of that. So even though we have the wheel of life or the pizza slices, the difficulty is to be honest with yourself and to have the courage to go and give more energy to the slices of pizza that you don't. So maybe you are not so good with investing your money.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not so good with disciplining yourself from, let's say, shopping. So there are some habits, or putting yourself out there to network more or meet a wife.
You know how I do? What happens if your car breaks? Where do you take?
Immediately. You
To
go
the person that's professional on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't do this alone. I started to do therapy, I was 18. I have like my yoga teacher, he's a mentor.
Yeah.
So he does this every month with me. He goes to the pizza and say, Graciela, how is your family? And I say, example, look, I'm not happy because my son is too much on TV. He say, okay, let's think what could you do about this? Maybe he needs to do some more sports. So we go through the pizza.
You review it monthly.
And then I have, when the bomb, because sometimes he's not enough. Like, then I had a burnout like 2 years ago, sorry. 2 years ago, I had a burnout because I was working too much. And then I got a hypnotherapist, like someone really professional that she goes like when the person is having a burnout, like then I went to someone more specific. So I have people watching the pizza with me for sure.
I want to ask you a personal question, and I know you will either allow me to pass the question or not. Many women, when they get married, okay, so you love your belly dancing, your career is you are your career. The way you express yourself in your career is the way your soul shows in this world. But many women, when they get married, they want to lay it back and not dance and work and book. They want the man to provide.
Yeah.
How did you manage to balance with your man where you are the one who is the famous one, the booked one, the busy one?
So we had a plan because, my husband, he had his company, and then I don't know if you know this story. He had his company in Brazil for IT. And I had my company in Dubai for events. And we had this plan to work together, because then we would have more time together. My son would be happier to see us at home all the time. So we put all together. And I have this business mindset. I know that a business takes time to arrive on some stage.
Yeah.
So we had a plan, and we were like together in the plan, and it was an adventure. Of course, to be very honest, like the first 2 years, I didn't want to kill myself of work the way I was doing, but we had a plan. So it was like, okay, let's make it work. And after, we are going to achieve. And we had in the plan, it's like the journey of the hero. We had some issues, like Corona came and was really like very hard for an event company. And but the most important, we were together, like we were like, no, let's manage this way. Let me do this way. So we had to manage, but in our case, it's very specific because we had this plan together. It was not something like, oh, now you go and you work, now you go and provide. It was like one thing together.
When we spoke on your husband, I'm so happy that you are in that place with him. I'm so happy that, I love the family unit. I love the power that uniting yourself with your better half and creating a family gives us. I'm yet to live that, but until then, I admire that you've done it. I was very curious because I'm sure there are many people who have either a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the entertainment. Because you are so balanced, moon, sun, yin, yang, time with yourself, the slices of pizza, the yoga teacher who checks in every month. How did you manage to make him feel secure in your integrity as a woman when you are a dancer and men are watching and admiring the art that you create in the moment when you dance? But many men say, no, she's my wife. In the Arabic world, they say, no, we cover her with the abaya, she's only for me. And how did you manage to have him say, okay, you be happy dancing, I will be happy with my IT. I'm doing my yoga, my IT. I take care of our son. How did you come up? How did you reach to that place?
I think first is very important that we have a transparent life. Like we don't have like my password, my computer, my phone. I say in my house that my phone is a public phone. My maid use my phone, my husband, my son. It's like we don't have this. So it's so transparent that he knows where I am, what time I finish, and we are so synchronized that this helps a lot because everything is very clear. And also he's in the backstage in a way, like he see me practicing. We choose the costume together. Like I show him before, he say, baby, it's too open. Like really, I don't think it suits you anymore.
But all your costumes are open and
Yeah,
very
but
sexy and very
some
beautiful.
of them, they can be more.
Oh, I didn't see them.
Yeah, I don't wear them.
Okay.
But sometimes he say, I tell him like, I don't think this color is for me. He say, actually it's true. Or example, sometimes I say, I'm gonna sell this costume. He say, no, this one is very elegant. You can keep for a corporate event. So he's so part of it.
He's involved.
He's so involved. Like I come home sometimes and I say, today I hurt my knee. And he's like, do you have to put ice? And I have one situation I really want to share. Like I did the video clip with Mohammed Ramadan. I don't know if you know, he's a very famous singer, very famous, one of the most in the Arabic country. And we were shooting in the desert and it was like summer. I came back home and I had another show. And then I was with sands. I had sands everywhere. I was sweat. I was like in a not very nice condition. And when he saw me, I said, look, I have to change and go to my show. And he said, you cannot go like this. Like you look dirty. Like you have to take a shower. You have sand everywhere. I was like, but there is no time because if I wet my hair, he said, no, I will help you. Oh. So I had a quick shower. And when I came with my wet hair, he was drying my hair and I was doing my makeup. And when I was doing this, like he was drying my hair and doing makeup and this, and I was like, oh my God, like I felt so like he's really my life partner. Like he's there for me only even to direct me when I'm doing too much. Because I would go to the stage like that. He was like, no. And he helped me and I did the show. So I think he doesn't even think about this.
I got it.
The man is watching, the lady is watching. Because anyway,
the answer is that you really are one. That's the answer.
And to be honest, like when you go to the beach, how many guys, if you have a nice body, is gonna look anyway? I mean, and he knows I'm not there to show my body. You know, he knows why I'm in the stage and what I did to be there. So.
Because you've mentioned this beautiful story where he was helping you dry your hair and you to do your makeup, which is it's a picture or a video I would like to see. I also want to highlight for many people out there who don't know that before Instagram, there was an era where there were professional models and not many people were necessarily respecting models or dancers or in the past, not even singers. I'm talking maybe 10, 20 years ago. And we know that we've been doing photo shoots in, as you said, 45 degrees with hot sand, sweating, but look beautiful. Or as you said, we were overtime in photo shoots where you are tired, but you have to do this pose and be professional because your check, your agent depends on your performance. And I kind of feel like I want to share this and I want to share your experience because there is so much professionalism in the arts that is no different than a CEO or Olympic gymnast. But because it's the arts and it's glitzy and it's colorful, it gives people the impression of joy and play, but you can succeed. You can only succeed to be the best belly dancer in the UAE unless you have this criteria of discipline as a model, as a professional dancer. Do you feel the difference between how you were when we were modeling and how models are today? Do you feel a gap or a difference?
No, I feel like I feel like a lot of ladies, they call themselves models and they are not. That's what I feel. I feel like the real models, they know that's a very serious job.
And from your perspective, what is serious about it?
I mean, you have to be on time. You have to, like, You have to be very strong because usually the summer collection they shoot in the winter collection they shoot in the summer. So if you complain about everything uncomfortable, you're gonna be like, it's better you put like a repeat songs like, it's hot, it's cold, I'm hungry, this shoes hurts, this is uncomfortable, this light is on my eye. It's like the whole thing is uncomfortable. And the glamour is like when you see the picture ready, but to take the picture done and also to get the job, you go to casting, you have to keep your portfolio updated, and you have to show up. And also, if you don't work, like you need to create your network to have a good personality, so they book you again. It's a very serious job.
I feel the same, of course, and I want to say that for you, modeling was a healing space, and for me, it was the same. And also, thank God I've modeled, because it takes me now one session or two to show an executive, be it a female or a male, how to pose, how to really have that presence when they are on stage. And because of the year of practice, like for you, it was modeling and dancing. For me, it was the 10 years or more of modeling. It takes me now 1 or 2 meetings to create this alignment in a person so that when they speak, they really command the room and they hold the room. Just like what you do when you're dancing. What is the similarity between being on stage as a catwalk model and as a dancer? What is similar? What is the common denominator?
Be a perfect look, that's all.
To have a perfect look?
Yeah.
And the presence?
The presence, yeah, the confidence, the presence, the look, because the way you present yourself as a model, it's really like, you think about everything. Or like first you need to arrive already, like if nails done and the hair and the skin and the makeup and
the energy.
Yeah, you have like this presence. Yeah, it's true. But the dancing is more I see like the very big difference that the dancer, she interacts more, and the model is more like she should not interact.
Yeah.
When we are doing a fashion show, it's kind of like sometimes you smile, and now it's more like there are shows that models interact, but if you do sometimes you do shows like you have to look so plain.
Last question for you. What is your best advice for a woman who sincerely, really desires to unmute her sensuality?
Get to know yourself, but be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying get to know yourself like I like green. My favorite color is green. No. Because it's so, you know why I'm giving this example? Because a lot of women, they worry so much about the brands of their bags, the way their face look like, or the body. But believe me, the more you go deep into yourself, the less these things matter. Actually, the after is fun because you're gonna, even the way you dress, even the things you are gonna do for your external side is gonna be more creative, is gonna be more you, not something that everyone is doing.
What's an area in your life you are still unmuting?
I wish I knew.
Which one from? You wish you knew. You wish you knew. Okay. We ask your yoga teacher when you do the pizza slices review, maybe because you have, you know what I mean? You have the.
I think there is one side that that you mentioned today, that because it's coming out in a way that I cannot manage anymore. It's like I have a very strong therapist side, but I still didn't. I put this a lot in dancing, but it's one area in my life that's not clear yet. That's why I said I wish I knew, because it's something I'm developing and it's coming more and more, and it's so connected to self-knowledge, to dance, to therapy, to meditation, but it's like...
It's the healer in you that you healed that expresses itself a lot through dance and maybe mentoring your friends and people, but I think you are ready, or you are getting ready to share it on bigger stages.
Yeah.
through maybe keynotes, through panel discussions, where you just share more of your knowledge, not only the beauty of your dance.
Yeah. Maybe. The good thing is I want to know. Because I know some people, they tell me, like, I don't want to know.
What?
You know? Example, sometimes you say, oh, you go to this retreat and you're going to get to know everything that's blocking you. You're going to get to know
Yeah, you're courageous.
which trauma you had that's messing up your relationship.
You're
And they're like, I don't want to assess this.
Yeah. People are scared. We were
Yeah.
speaking in other podcasts. People are scared.
Yeah. No, me, I really wish to know everything.
If you want to unmute yourself, if you want to get to know yourself, be honest and go for it. If you want to unmute your sensuality and your power as a woman, I would say definitely study with Graciela. Online, live, get in touch with her. I've known her for 18, 20 years and she's always been graceful and powerful, now even more. So that's one way to go. I prepared something in closing. You gifted me the belly dancing scarf. I want to gift you this.
I'm ready.
And it goes like this. She doesn't dance just to be seen, but to embody what lies between the beat, the breath, the sacred chance, to turn her soul into a dance. With every step, she claims her ground, a woman whole with roots unbound. She spins with power, fierce and free, yet holds her home with harmony. A mother strong, a loving wife, she moves with grace through every life. Her son, her world, her partner's hand, the rhythm of life well planned. But make no mistake, her fire runs deep. She's danced through pain she doesn't keep. She's worn the mask, she's played the part, but now she moves from open heart. She books the talent, runs the show, yet always lets her softness glow. She teaches us without pretense, the beauty blooms from confidence. To Graciela, bold and true, a woman dancing her own view. Thank you for the way you move, with fire, strength, and boundless groove. You show us how with strength and grace to own our voice and take our place, to rise, to shine, to speak our truth, to live out loud and unmute.
I love it. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. You are a gem. A gem. And by the way,
You give amazing hugs. I love your hugs. Thank you for being on Unmute. Thank you so much.
thank you for inviting me. It was really a pleasure.
It was amazing. That's a wrap. Thank you.
Hopefully, I'll come back.
You will, if you want, you will. I know we have 1,001 stories to unpack.
Yes.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.